Okay, let me show you a few more examples on how people report mapping study or SLR. Okay, so this is one example of my paper. It is a systematic literature review paper. The title is Empirical Studies of Pair Programming for CS, SE Teaching in Higher Education, a systematic literature review. So this paper was co-authored by my advisor, Professor Mendes and Professor John, and it has been published in IEEE Transactions on Software Engineering. This is the detail about the publication, volume 27 and number 4. Okay, so similar like as the previous paper that I have shown you. Okay, the first part of the paper we present abstract. Okay, what is the objective? Okay, what is the method used? We perform a systematic literature review of empirical studies. To study factors affecting effectiveness of pair programming for computer science software engineering students, and studies that measured effectiveness of pair programming for computer science software engineering students. So for this SLR, we found 74 papers. So I have read these 74 papers in detail and provide a synthesis of evidence and what are the factors that I have found from the synthesis. So results shows that So this is the result part. Okay. And then our meta-analysis, I did a meta-analysis for that, showed that pair programming was effective in improving students' grades for assignment. Finally, studies that use quality, So these are the results part. Okay, so how the results will contribute to the body of knowledge. Okay, so index term is the keyword, and the introduction, as I mentioned previously, this one is actually for user to know what is the background of this study. Okay, so we can provide a bit description about what pair programming is. Okay, that it has been popular in industry as well as in higher institutions. Okay, what earlier research have done, right? A little bit. So this is the citation. Okay, if you see in this angle bracket. Right, so different publications, different publishers, they require different style on how to cite other people's work. Okay, for example, in text you can mention the name of the author, but let's say in the end of the sentence, okay, for example like this, you can just put in a bracket, and this means that I'm referring to this study, when I'm saying about this statement. So when we say something, there is a backup. I mean, there is a support. For example, I was writing here that they suggest that pair programming is a promising approach to use as a pedagogical tool due to its capability of increasing learning capacity. Who said that? So this statement is supported by this paper. Okay, 12. So this 12 is, if you look at the references, is this paper, John Culver, right? So this paper is actually the one that I have referred to when I made that statement. So in writing a paper, we need to back up, each of our statement. Not necessarily each, but if we put some arguments, we have to see from where the source is. Okay. And then I have also included some citation here referring to other people's work that is related to this work. For example, Diba also conducted systematic review, also talking about pair programming. Alright, but they are working on the industry. Okay. They have industry as well as students. Alright, and another paper. Okay. So basically, this introduction gives the people a setting up of the topic, okay? And then, then I did not put the related work here because I have included inside the introduction. Under the review method, this is very brief where I have described what are the method that I've used, okay? So SLR, we followed the procedures of Kitchener charters and the research questions. Alright, so I have a PICOP here, PICOP, Population Intervention Comparison Outcomes and Context. So this is where is the PICOP? This one is the PICOP. Alright, so this is the PICOP table that I referred to. when I formulated the research questions. So the population is higher education. The intervention is pair programming. I did not intend to compare because I wanted to include as much pair programming studies as possible. Although in the analysis, I also pick up some of the papers that have made some comparison between pair programming and solo programming. That is also part of the studies included in this SLR. And then the outcomes, which focus on the effectiveness of pair programming and the context of this SLR. So this record give people reader a framework about this SLR. Okay, and then I put the research question. What evidence is there about and then I have also included some secondary question, sub-question. Yeah, there are 3 sub-questions. What evidence regarding pair compatibility, how effectiveness was measured, how quality was measured. Okay, these are related. And then how do I search for the studies? What kind of string we used? Okay, and what databases, right? So last time I have used these databases, ACM. These are all the databases, but I think I have used all these 12, is it? The keywords. The primary search present involves the use of 12 online databases. Oh, okay, yeah. The primary ACM, current contents, EBSCO host. Yeah, because this one I did not use International Islamic University Malaysia's library subscription because I use New Zealand's libraries databases. So they provided me with access to all these 12 databases. So I searched studies from all these 12 databases. And then I perform the selection. Perform the selection of studies, the main inclusion, and then the criteria for exclusion. Okay, and then data extraction, yeah, and also the study quality assessment. How do I perform the extraction? So this is the quality checklist, right? And then the results. Okay, so the result is telling basically what I have found. For example, in the database, yeah, how many studies have been searched, for example. Let me enlarge a little bit. Okay, how many studies retrieved? 379, and then after screening titles and abstract, and after excluding irrelevant studies, it comes out to 153, and then after looking into consideration the full text. So this one actually basically I'm kind of like browsing through the whole full text, not reading in detail, but only some I think I read in detail because I need to ensure that that those that are not relevant are just excluded from the selection. So finally, after removing all the irrelevant and duplicate studies, there are 73. But then I did a snowball. Okay, from the snowball, I found another 5. But after checking through the full text, only 1 is applicable. So in the end, it's total 73 plus 1 becomes 74. Okay, right. Okay, so then this is just telling the people from the 74 studies, how many formal experiments. I found that majority perform experiment, 59%, and the rest is doing surveys, case studies, mixed methods, and other qualitative techniques. Okay, so basically this result tells a brief demographics about the studies. And then this is where I provide the synthesis of evidence. Okay, and the result section, yeah, section 3.2. For this question, okay, what evidence of pair programming studies that have conducted in higher education settings, So I included what I have found, okay, what people have studied, and I found that these are all the factors that people have studied, and when I read the paper and I see some of them reporting some positive effects, some of them saying some negative effect, and some of them did not say anything. Like for example, no effect being observed, and some observe mixed effect. So this is interesting that we can inform reader who want to know about the practice of pair programming and whether it is something that is favorable or not. Okay, and what are the factors involved when we are actually implementing pair programming? So we need to share this kind of knowledge, okay, to the readers. And then this is where, okay, see, I did not mention in this paper what is the method that I use for synthesizing evidence. But reading the text and the table, okay. So basically, this is a narrative. Okay, this is a narrative synthesis. So narrative synthesis is that we are not only summarizing here. Of course, we inform the results, kind of, not kind of summary, but there are parts that we explain why the result is so and so. Okay, right, I'll show you. And this is answer for sub question 1. This is narrative, yeah, because I'm describing the results, and then how pair programming was measured, effectiveness of pair programming was measured. Okay, and then I did a meta-analysis because I found that there are a number of studies that perform experiments comparing with pair and solo. So these studies are homogeneous. Yeah, they are homogeneous in nature. So I did a meta-analysis to find out what are the major results. Okay, but it turns out that I found that it gives only a small significant small effect size, which is not really strong significant findings if you were to conclude how effective pair programming is towards students' final exam. But in terms of assignment, majority is supporting, as you can see in the effect size, individual effect size as well as the average or the pool effect size. Right? So this is a bit lengthy paper. There are 17 pages. And then I provide some discussion. Okay, this is where the interpretation about the results, were done. Where I have actually explained, for instance, why is that so? The two competitive factors investigated most were skill level and personality type. Our synthesis suggested that pairing works effectively when pairing students according to their skill level, supporting previous work, comprehend starts. Alright. There was little evidence of studies looking at gender and ethnicity issues. We found lack of studies. So basically, you can discuss what is the pattern, the pattern of the findings. All right. You can, basically you can read this more, and what is the implications for research? Meaning to say that based on the findings, what the I would say educators or researchers can learn, from this SLR. And threats to validity is actually what are the factors that might have affected the results, the validity of the results. So I'm putting up some of the factors that need to be taken into account when generalizing the results. For example, in terms of selection, okay, selection of studies, I might have missed some studies because I did not use maybe a complete set of databases, alright? And then future work and the conclusions. Alright, this is the list of studies. Okay, list of included studies. There are 74. Yep, until here. And then I provide acknowledgement because this study was also sponsored by Mohi. Okay, and then the references that I use, right? So, okay, and that's my advisor. Okay, that is an SLR. This is a mapping study done by my student. My student conducted Samir he is a Palestinian. He conducted a mapping study of mobile application testing techniques. So I suggested to him to conduct a mapping study because he wanted to conduct a review, a general review about quite a general topic, because when talk about mobile app testing techniques, there are various sort of mobile apps, and there are various sort of testing techniques. So SLR is not deemed suitable. So that's why I told him that why not we do a mapping study, and we collaborated with John Grundy as well. Okay, so we submitted, the paper was published by this journal. This is also a good journal, the Journal of Systems and Software. And then we have same thing, same structure, abstract, introduction, okay, motivation, and so on. I will share this paper in my time. Okay.